I'm back with another Mill Creek DVD review. This time, we have their Spaghetti Western 44 movie collection. This came out in 2010. I don't remember what this retailed for. I think I picked mine up on eBay. It was around maybe $14. Now, before we dive into this, some of these I already had. In fact, some of them I probably had on VHS back in the 90s. Thought I'd put in a little spaghetti western music since that's what we're discussing here. So, I got this, well, first of all, because I'm a huge spaghetti western fan, and there were quite a lot on here that I did not already have. Some I already did have, but that's usually the way it is with these public domain sets. A lot of them are singing movies are on more than one set. Go ahead and open this up. There we go. Gives you this booklet here. Tells you, excuse me, what movies are on what disc. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Who stars in them? Year of release, color. Well, I mean, all the movies on here are in color, as far as I know. There might be one that for some reason is black and white. The rating. The discs themselves are around 2 movies on 2 movies on one side, 2 movies on the other side. They're packaged in these little envelopes here, like this. And they fit inside here. So, let's get started. Now, in case you haven't seen my other reviews of these sets, I don't know if I really call it a review because I'm not going to go into great detail about each movie. I mean, heck, we're talking 44 movies here. This video is going to be long enough, so it's really more like my thoughts and opinions on them. Starting off, we have Grand Duel. Grand Duel, great movie. What's his name? I think it's Forrest Frank, Lee Van Cleef. What's the other fellow's name? Peter O'Brien. The version on here is pretty sure it's the full-length version on widescreen. I've seen the full-frame version on VHS that had a different title. I can't recall what it was called, but I think there was a scene, a brief nude scene. You just see a woman in that one. And that's the only thing I can remember that they cut out. 1974, Grand Duel, good one. Johnny Yuma, don't go. Johnny Yuma, stay here. What do you think you'll find behind the mountains? I'm going to do that on each one of these. If I can remember a bit of each song, sing a little bit of it. Johnny Yuma with Mark Damon, Lawrence Dobkin, Rosalba Neary. 1966. That was a good one. Next up we have Johnny Garco, William Berger, and They Call Him Cemetery. For just a moment I was thinking this was maybe one of the Holy Ghost movies that he did, but no, this is something different. Version here, I can't remember if it's widescreen or not. The sound quality is a little off. I've kind of played with it in VLC Media Player, and yeah, Seems like the audio could be better. Picture so-so. On here, what that means is I just checked off each one as I watched it. And if it was a particularly one that I thought was good, for some reason I highlight it. You think I'd be able to remember, but it can be done, amigo. When I was a boy, if you really want to, dun, dun, yes you can. I've been wanting to see this one for years. I remember seeing it listed in the old Film Facts magazine advertisements. Bud Spencer with Jack Palance. Somehow, that little boy that he ends up having to look after for some reason. I don't remember why. Excuse me. Getting late. Or early, depending on how you look at it. It's 1:10 a.m. here now. This version's in full frame. And, well, it doesn't have the running time. I thought they said the running time. I can't remember if it's uncut or not. I think I've seen a widescreen version. Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe actually the full frame version is longer. I don't remember for sure. Man from Nowhere with Giuliano Gemma. Fernando Sancho, who is in a lot of spaghetti westerns. Arizona Cult. So maybe it was also released under that title. I'm not quite sure. Can't remember if it's a widescreen or not. Next up, we have Trinity and Sartana. Good title. You think, oh, Trinity, Terence Hill and Sartana, Gianna Garco. Instead, we get Robert Woodmark and Harry Bear. This one's got 2 big thumbs down. Dull. Not fun. I'll never watch it again. In here in the description it says, anyone who was a fan of anyone who was a fan of the comedy westerns such as the Trinity film series must see this movie. Well, I am a fan of the Trinity films. I am a fan of Terence Hill and Bud Spencer. I did see this movie, and it stinks. Next up, we have Apache Blood from 1975. To be honest, I never did finish that one, watching it. I gave up after the first 20 minutes or so. This man can't die. Can't remember if that's one that maybe on one set it's in black and white, and on here I'm pretty sure it's in color. And it might be widescreen. I don't remember for sure. Guy Madison, Lucien Boudreau, Rick Battaglia, 1967. Fistful of Lead. I have this under a different title. It's Sartana. One of the Sartans. Or at least as one of the Sartana films, even though it's actually George Hilton, Charles Southwood, and Erica Blanc. It's full frame. Now, I guess this one is kind of a comedy western. It's not so funny that it's, silly and goofy, but it's fun. 4 Road Out. I don't even know if this is a spaghetti. Leslie Nielsen, Pernell Roberts, Sue Line. 4 Road Out. Without a doubt, the most boring western I ever tried to watch. I gave up after the first 15 or 20 minutes. I just couldn't take it. Like I said, I'm not going into great detail about these movies. You're going to have to look elsewhere for that. White Fang and the Hunter. Robert Wood and Ignazio Spalla. Melissa Longo. Not really a spaghetti western. It's more like a, what would you call it? A Mountie? Canadian Mountie? Not quite sure. Oh, Fur Trapper? Something like that. So I remember my dad having this on VHS a long time ago. I think it's one of the first VHS tapes he ever bought. I know I had seen it before. White Comanche, William Shatner's only spaghetti western. And it's so-so. Not great, not so good, but not terrible. Certainly not the worst spaghetti western movie I've seen. I think Shatner actually plays 2 parts. I think he plays both brothers. Yeah, 1 his. So this film is notable for the early co-starring role of William Shatner as one of the half-breed brothers. I thought he played both. Oh, my mistake. I've only seen it once. The Unholy Four. Good. I enjoyed this one. Leonard Mann, and Woody Strode. I think it's George Eastman is in this. Can't remember if it's widescreen or not. I kind of wish they would have mentioned that in here, so I wouldn't have to try to remember. Yeah, I think they're inmates in a mental asylum. There's a huge fire, and they escape. Kid Vengeance with Lee Van Cleef and Jim Brown, Leif Garrett. Now, Leif Garrett and Lee Van Cleef actually are in another spaghetti western. We call it an Israeli western. What would that be? Matzo ball western? Lutefisk western? No, gefilte fish western? I don't know. That one's called God's Gun. I think also Jack Palance is in that one. And this one's pretty good. Lee Van Cleef plays a real mean bastard in this one. I'll have to watch that one again. I think I've only seen that one once. And I think Jim Brown and Lee Van Cleef are in another western, which for some reason I can't remember the name of right now. I never have seen it. Drawing a blank. 3 Bullets for Ringo with Gordon Mitchell, Mickey Hargitay, Mila Sananower. 1966. I don't remember watching that one. The Price of Power, which is one I wanted to see for years. It's kind of like he tries to plot to. There's a plot to assassinate the president. Is it Grant? Not sure. Juliana Gemma is in that one. Is it Gemma or Gemma? Fernando Rey, Van Johnson. Oh God, excuse me. I think I read somewhere that this is kind of based on the JFK assassination. Loosely based. Keoma. Wanna die. Over there is my father. That's about what the vocals sound like, the male vocals. Imagine a very sick Lee Marvin singing. And I'm not going to try to replicate the female vocals. I don't think my voice can get that high. But Franco Nero is a half-breed. Lean, mean spaghetti western. Doesn't take any shit. I think Enzo Castellari did this one. Woody Strode, Olga Carlatos. I think she is in Lucio Fulci's Zombie, the one that gets the splinter in the eyeball. Yeah, I think this is the. I think it's the widescreen version. I'm not sure. Seems like some of these they might have gotten from the. I can't remember if it was I think it was Blue Underground, at least a few spaghetti westerns. And somehow, for some reason, they took those prints and used them on here, which I don't know why they did that. Hate Thy Neighbor. Another one with George Eastman. I can't remember the main actor. Looks like maybe Horst Frank is in that one too, because there's a scene where he plays like it was a land baron. Is that the right title? Anyway, he's wealthy, and on his estate, he's got like Mexicans fighting for him, and they got these weird like claws that they claw like hooks and they fight with. For the Apocalypse, Lucio Fulci. It's good. Bunny. I think that's the name of one of the characters, the woman. Thomas Milan plays a real mean guy in this one. Also, Fabio Testi's in it, and he's always good. Michael J. Pollard, he's always good. You know, if that's Harry Beard, He plays like the crazy, kind of like the crazy guy. He goes nuts, runs off into a cemetery or something. I think he's naked. Some weird stuff. And I think there's a scene where Thomas Milan feeds them peyote. And the scene where Fabio Testi catches up with him at the very end and gets his revenge. So that's a really good scene. I like that part. Minnesota Clay with Cameron Mitchell. I think remember maybe the last part of this is in Italian. I don't remember. I think this is the one where he's the gunfighter that's slowly losing his sight. I think Sergio Corbucci did this one. If you meet Sartana, pray for death. Now, I watched this again recently, and I forgot just how much I enjoy this one. Sartana's kind of like a, what would you call him? Exactly like a James Bond type. Give you maybe a little bit of idea of what it's like. There's a series of them. I don't know how many. Gianni Darko, Klaus Kinski, Fernando Sancho. I think this is the first one in the series. Oh, William Berger. He's also in it. The Fighting Fists of Shanghai Joe. And this is the old. This is the full frame version. But as far as I know, it's uncut. And it's pretty violent. Probably might be the most violent spaghetti western there is. We're talking. Some guy gets shot through the hand. Some guy gets, I think, his eyes poked out. Klaus Kinski's character comes to a pretty nasty end. Next up, Death Rides a Horse, and I believe this is the full frame version. I think MGM put out the widescreen version. Lee Van Cleef, John Philip Law from Barbarella. China 9, Liberty 37. Warren Oates, Sam Peckinpah. He is in, I think, just one scene. Fabio Testi. And for some reason they don't mention, I think it's Jenny Agutter, and I might be pronouncing that name wrong. She's in Logan's Run and American Werewolf in London. 1978, so that's one of the last ones they did. I think Buddy Goes East, which isn't on here. This Bud Spencer was made later than that. Django vs. Sartana. Now, there's actually two Django vs. Sartana movies, and I can't remember if there's it might be this one. There's One Damn Day at Dawn. Django challenges Sartana, and one of them I like. It's probably this one. Yeah, Fabio Testi and Hunt Powers. Hunt Powers. I'm going to look for see if he did any more spaghetti westerns. Django Kills. Now here it says George Eastman, Luciano Rossi, Leonardo Orfe. However, they made a mistake. You don't get Django Kills. I never have seen that movie. You actually get Django Kill, If You Live Shoot, with Thomas Milan. And I think it's taken from the Blue Underground release, which is completely uncut. And there's some scenes that are in Italian, but they do have English subtitles. They also did the same thing with A Man Called Blade. And your heart is breaking down. With the great Maurizio Merli, Donald O'Brien, and John Steiner. If you haven't seen that one, check it out. Highly recommended. Challenge to White Fang with Franco Nero, my favorite actor. This might be the only Franco Nero movie that I have that I never made it all the way through. I don't know why. I just couldn't. It just couldn't take it. Not that all that interesting. Not even sure if he called it a spaghetti western. Dead for a Dollar. George Hilton. Don't remember where that one. Boot Hill, Terrence Hill, Bud Spencer, and Woody Strode. I think Victor Buono is in this. He plays the villain. And Victor Buono I've always liked, but doesn't make a very menacing villain. And this is one where, there's some scenes where there's a circus. Yeah, a lot of acrobats, stuff like that, clowns. Don't remember the actor's name, but the director's name. I think he also did God Forgives, I Don't, which might be the first pairing of Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill. And for some reason I'm thinking maybe he also did Ace High, also with those two. And Brock Peters and Eli Wallach. This is, unfortunately, it's the full frame version, not so good quality. The Great Adventure, which I didn't even watch, Jack Palance, Joan Collins, because this is not even a spaghetti western. I don't know if you even call it a western. It says something about taking place in Dawson City, Alaska. Beyond the Law, Lee Van Cleef, Antonio Sabato, Lionel Stander. Let's see. For some reason, I'm thinking Bud Spencer is in this one also. I used to have that on just a DVD that I bought a long time ago, and I put it in, and the quality was really poor. And it was so poor that I actually got rid of it. Fortunately, the version you get on here is much better quality. It's in widescreen, and it's the full-length version. Sundance and the Kid, also known as, I don't remember, Alive or Preferably Dead? I'm not sure. Nino Benvenuti and Giulietta Gemma. This could have been better if it didn't try to be so damn silly. It was just too goofy. Ben and Charlie. Giuliano Gemma and George Eastman. I think this one went on a bit long. Too long for my taste, but I still enjoyed it. And I think this one is also in widescreen. Nice quality. Dead Men Don't Make Shadows. Oh, this one has Hunt Powers in it too. Okay, I'll check that out again. Because just looking over the description, I don't remember it. From 1970. And God Said to Cain with Klaus Kinski. There's liberation for... Right, that's enough. And one thing I noticed, listening to the theme song to this movie, and then listen to, I think it's a song called Condemnation by Depeche Mode from their Songs of Faith and Devotion album. And I have to do that again because they seem really similar to me. Maybe Martin Gore or Dave Gahan had seen this movie and they kind of ripped off the song. I don't know. I'm just imagining things anyway. Unfortunately, the version on here is not so good. It's a full frame, and if you can find it, check out the version that's a widescreen. It's uncut. Because there's a very important scene that explains why Klaus is so hell-bent on revenge and getting even with this guy that's what is his name? Speaking of which, give me just a moment. The movie I was just talking about a while ago, Ben and Charlie. Here's a bit of the song from it. Okay, it's enough. Getting back to it, and God Said to Cain. Yeah, he's framed by his friend Akembar, played by Peter Karsten. Very important scene in the uncut version that explains, this guy explains to Klaus what happened with Akembar. Jesse and Lester, which I have not watched yet. Richard Harrison, Donald O'Brien, because the version on here is really poor. His name was King. He had a gun. With Klaus Kinski, Richard Harrison. Did I mention in this review that Klaus Kinski is one of my favorite actors? I used to have this on VHS. Got it from the store, and I paid the whopping sum of 50 cents. And believe it or not, when I was done with it, I think I actually put it in the trash because it's so damn boring. Klaus doesn't show up enough in it, and when he does, it's not a fun movie. I watched it on VHS at once, and yeah, I think maybe I even fall asleep. Might have fallen asleep when I was trying to watch it here again, but I eventually did make it all the way through. And chances are I probably won't watch it again. Between God, the Devil, and the Winchester, Richard Harrison and Gilbert Roland. It's a good one. Richard Harrison, no, it's not. Gilbert Roland, excellent actor. He's got that, it's kind of metal thing stuck on his hand in this one. I'm just going right through these, aren't I? Sorry, I'm not giving you going in-depth, great detail on these. Run Man Run, Thomas Neill, Donald O'Brien. Another one that they took the version from the Blue Underground release. The Manhunt, John Ethan Wayne, not John Wayne, John Ethan Wayne. Bo Svensson and Henry Silva. Now, why in the hell don't they list Ernest Borgnine in here in the credits? I mean, how many people have heard of Ernest Borgnine? Now, how many people have heard of John Ethan Wayne? Something to do with, I think he gets some horses on Ernest Borgnine for some reason, steals them back or something, and the guy ends up in jail, I think. Yeah. Even though it's not a Western, it's not a bad movie. I have no idea why it's on here. The Stranger's Gun Down. I think that's also known as Django the Bastard. That's a good one. I think I read somewhere that maybe this was like the supposedly inspiration for Clint Eastwood's Hang 'em High. I think it was either Hang 'em High or High Plains Drifter. It's been so long since I've seen either of those movies. I don't remember which is which. Guess what? We're on the last disc. Got 2 more to go. We're at the 27-minute mark. The Deserter, Richard Crenna and Chuck Connors, Beckham Famu. Boring. Didn't like this one. Find a Place to Die, which I already had. 1968, starring Jeffrey Hunter, Pascali Pettit, and Ted Carter. Something about a gold mine. Well, there's that sort of thing happens in a lot of spaghetti westerns, doesn't it? People looking for gold. Who's got the gold? You have the gold, now I got the gold. Now I outwitted you, now you have the gold again. Well, that's it. That's all 44 movies. Here's the last page. And I do not recall what scene that is from. Some guy with his head sticking out of the sand and a woman helping him, giving him a drink. I don't remember who that is. Now there's a scene in Companeros where Franco Nero has his head he's buried, he's got his head above there. But that movie's not on here. There's also a scene, I think it's kind of like that in The Man Called Blade. However, I'm almost pretty certain that's not Maurizio Merli. Here on the front, and also front here, we have got Mr. Terence Hill. Don't know who that is on the back. It kind of looks like Thomas Neill as he appears in Django Kill. That'd be something if Terence Hill and Thomas Neill had did a spaghetti western together. I don't think they ever did. On the back we got there's Thomas Neill. I don't remember her name. I believe that's a scene from Run Man Run. The largest roundup of spaghetti western classics. Loaded 6-shooters, fast-paced action, luscious ladies, and a hearty dose of comedy can all be found in this outstanding collection of acclaimed movies from the epic filmmaking genre affectionately known as spaghetti westerns. And on the front, it mentions some of the actors' names. Terrence Hill, Lee Van Cleef, Chuck Connors, which one he is in, William Shatner, Jack Palance, George Eastman, Franco Nero, Bud Spencer. Wait, Franco Nero? Is he in any of these? That's right, he's in Keoma, yeah. Alright. Well, that does it for this review. And if you made it through the entire 30 minutes, oh, thanks for watching. And next up, might do a review of, I have another Mill Creek set. I think I have, let me look at the shelf. 2 more. 2 more, or they're 50 movie sets to go through. So I'll do those at another time. Thank you for watching, folks.